So recently I've reread Eyeshield 21. Getting into it, I was very surprised that it's about American football because I've never read a single manga about American football. There's a lot of crazy moments in the manga. The characters, they go to they go to the US and they run across the United States from the East Coast all the way to Las Vegas. There's a bit of racism in it too, which is, I don't think I've ever really seen racism all that much in manga, ever. No, there's been a few times, but still, I was just very surprised that there was a, racist topic in, Eyeshield 21. The main character, Sena Kobayakawa, he's very small, short, and an easy target for bullies. At the start of the story, he's just entering high school, but it's very clear he doesn't have too much going on for him. He gets picked on a lot, he's an errand boy, and his childhood best friend has to stand up for him wherever he goes. That is until he gets probably more like forced into joining a team, the American Football Club, by this one character, Hiruma Yoichi. I'm pretty sure that's his last name, Hiruma. Now, Hiruma, he's such a crazy character. He's always strapped with a rocket launcher or a few machine guns on him. He's always strapped wherever he goes. But in this American Football Club, they only have two players. Literally the team captain, Hiruma, and Kurita, who is just the definition of a big friendly giant, I'd say. Hiruma is just literally trying to get anyone he can in the club because no one's joining it, so he's trying to meet his goals by whatever means possible. Like he's blackmailing the principal, he blackmails some delinquents into joining the football club. He's just doing whatever. He's desperate and he clearly really likes American football, I'm gonna just call it. But we soon find out that Senna, he's a very, very fast runner. Whenever he was being pushed around and bullied by bullies, he would always be running. Whenever he was forced to go do an errand, like get drinks for a group of people, he'd always run. Although he's small, he doesn't have much strength to him. He can get the football from point A to point B very fast, and that's what makes him a very good running back. He could squeeze in between people, just run very, very fast. And Hiruma sees this, and Hiruma is just very cunning. He just does whatever he wants, really. And Hiruma uses Senna to his fullest ability. He creates a nickname for him, Eyeshield 21, who's supposedly just some guy from Notre Dame University. That's all the way in the US for those who don't know. And so yeah, Senna's given the nickname Eyeshield 21, who is supposedly some big, scary running back he's a monster on the field. Nothing can stop him. Just exaggerating, blowing everything out of proportion. That's what Hiruma likes to do sometimes. Mainly just to trick the opponents into, being scared, getting them riled up so that they're just scared or not at their fullest when they're playing. At first, Senna, he doesn't like it at all. He's scared. He's never done this before. But we slowly get to see this team coming together, and Hiruma, he schedules a match as soon as they have enough players. Actually, they didn't even have enough players, but he still scheduled a match, and he blackmailed students, he blackmailed some delinquents into joining the team so that he could just play football with his friend Kurita. But in the first game that we see the Devil Bats play in, they're obviously looked down upon by any team that they're participating against. But the first team that they play against, the opposing team, underestimates the Devil Bats so much. So it's a big surprise when they see a very fast running back on the other team, Eyeshield 21. And so they win that game. The Devil Bats win that game. And let me just say, the actual, the football aspect of it is, it's very well illustrated by Yusuke Murata, the same guy who does One Punch Man. It's very well drawn. So the Devil Bats win that game, and I'm pretty sure it's in the next one, if I remember correctly, that they face one of the strongest teams in the tournament, the Ojo White Knights. And on this team, there's a idol. He's loved by everyone. Everyone just thinks he's so good at football, but in truth, he's a mediocre player. That's what he is. But there's another player on the Ojo White Knights. He's a linebacker. His name's Shin, and he's just the MVP. What a linebacker does at least one part of their job is to stop any runs, stop passes, stuff like that. That's a very big problem for Senna because his only job is to run the ball. And so he just keeps getting stopped by Shin. And that's where the Diamond Devil Bats meet their first loss. There's also one other detail that's kind of important later on that I forgot to mention, and it's that everyone thinks that Senna is actually just the team manager. So it really just fits his image perfectly, mainly in the sense that he's still very weak, scrawny, and has no confidence whatsoever, no self-respect. There's even a few people on the team that can't tell that it's actually Senna, and his childhood friend doesn't even know either. She just thinks he's the team manager. But if his childhood friend, I'm trying to think of her name. Yeah, his childhood friend's name is Mamori. And like I said, she's very protective of Senna. So if she knew that he was getting tackled on the football field, then she'd definitely want him to quit right away. She'd think it's too dangerous and definitely not something he could handle. Yeah, she doesn't know his identity at all. She just thinks that there's a super great running back on this football team called Eyeshield 21. That's what most of the people think, actually. So Senna kind of has this like secret identity that he has to kind of protect a little bit. But yeah, we were at the part where Senna, everyone just lost on the Devil Bat team. And you gotta think that Senna, Hiruma, Kurita, even the delinquents practice and trained for this game. Well, actually, maybe not the delinquents, now that I think about it. But yeah, the Devil Bats, they trained for this game and did their best. Their goal is to just win the tournament and play in another tournament called the Christmas Bowl, which is kind of like the Super Bowl of Japan, except with high school kids. I'm pretty sure that this was one of Hiruma and Kurita's last chance to get into the Christmas Bowl. The main goal they've had since they started out high school. In the first 2 years of high school, Hiruma and Kurita, while they were on the football team, no one really joined them. They only had one other member called Gen Musashi, and even he left. So this is their last chance to get into the Christmas Bowl to play football. And this was also Senna's first time to ever find something he wanted to pursue and get better at, and he wanted to win. And at first he didn't really take the loss too seriously. He thought nothing of it. He's like, oh, we just lost. I guess I don't have to practice anymore. I won't have to do this hard stuff any longer. I could just go back to normal and not strive for anything. But later on, he realizes while he's alone that he actually really likes football, and he really didn't want to lose. He wanted to keep playing with his teammates. He didn't want it to end there. And he recognizes that he's very weak compared to the Ojo White Knights, compared to the linebacker that was stopping him, and that he realizes that the only way he could keep playing football is to get stronger, to become better, play better. And this is really one of the main themes of Eyeshield 21. When you make a mistake, when you take a loss, and you're on the ground, you're not supposed to just sit there waiting for something to happen. You have to get back up on your own 2 feet, put in effort, and learn from your past mistakes, because one of the main things that Eyeshield 21 shows is that failing isn't when you make a mistake, it's when you don't get up and try to improve from last time. That's very cheesy, I know, but that's just one of the main themes. But yeah, Senna and his team lost, and Senna actually sheds a few tears. And realizing he wants to keep playing football, the first thing he starts doing is practicing. He picks himself up and puts in his time, puts in effort, so that he doesn't make the same mistake twice. And so the next tournament comes along. And in this tournament, this is where we see the Devil Bats grow the most as a team. They pick up new players in very unconventional ways. But like I said, Hiruma, he'll take whoever he can get and use them to their fullest potential. And the Devil Bats, they take off in this tournament. They're absolutely nutty. They're winning games left and right. And eventually they meet a team that supposedly has the real Eyeshield 21 on it, the real strongest running back in this tournament. And right before the game starts, Senna, alright, this is gonna be spoilers, so skip to this time if you don't want to be spoiled, because it's a very, very beautiful moment. 3, 2, 1. Okay. So what Senna does is that he takes off his helmet and he shows Memori, who's the team manager at this point, who Eyeshield 21 really is. It's him. It's Senna, the same kid that she's been babying throughout her life, being very protective of. And in this game, Senna knows what he has to do. The reason he takes off his mask is that he knows, now that he's actually facing the real Eyeshield 21, he has to prove himself. And if he can beat this team, he knows that all the hard work he put into football and all the confidence he has built up is real, and that he has grown out of being a kid who needs to be protected. He could stand up for himself now, and it's a very beautiful moment. And also Memori realizes this too, and she starts crying a little bit because she realizes too that Senna is growing up. And it's honestly one of my favorite moments in all of the manga. And so Senna goes out and he's no longer Eyeshield 21. He no longer has the hidden identity to protect himself from who he really is. If he wins this match, he'll find out himself if he's the real deal. And if he loses, well, he's just a fake, right? I also want to talk about the games too, because the games, wow, there's some very, very close games in this manga. And that's also one thing I really like to see, is that Eyeshield 21, although it does obviously place a lot of focus on Senna, the main character, it builds up the team and it doesn't just leave them without any development at all. Each side character, every teammate of theirs, goes through some sort of development throughout the games, throughout the tournament. One specifically is this catcher. His name's Manta. He joins just a little after the tournament starts. At first, he's this guy in the baseball club, and he's a very, very good catcher. He has insane catching skills. Wherever the ball is, he can get it. He should grab it in midair. And he's very specialized in that department. But in baseball, I don't really know too much about baseball, but it doesn't matter if you're good at catching. What they mainly want is an all-arounder. And so, yeah, Manta is only good at catching. Well, eventually, he doesn't get kicked off the team. He just gets placed in a worse position. Basically a bench warmer, I'm pretty sure. And so he sees that his catching skills and really anything about him in baseball isn't appreciated. And so he decides to give up on his one and only dream he's had ever since he was a little kid. It's very heartbreaking to see. But around this time, he meets with Senna, and Senna sees that Manta is very good at catching, and currently they're missing a wide receiver, and the wide receiver's job is to only catch passes, really nothing else. So you could really see where this is going. Manta joins the team. He gives up on his dream of being one of the best catchers in baseball, and instead his new dream is to become the #1 catcher in the world in football. And so in the first game, just like Senna, Manta does very well. He catches a lot of passes, and they just blow the other team out of the park, out of the field. And the Devil Bats just completely crushed the other team. I forgot which team this was, but pretty much in that game, they lost because Manta, when he caught a ball, they ran out of time because they couldn't get back in formation fast enough and do another play of the game. Though, yeah, the only reason they lost in that game was because they just ran out of time. And so in another game, Manta, he faces off against one of the best cornerbacks in the tournament. And what the cornerback's job is to do, it's just to guard the wide receiver. And they obviously have to be very good at catching too. They have to be able to intercept the ball and just mainly block the ball from being caught by the other team. But in this game, oh my lord, I'm pretty sure the Diamond Devil Bats were losing at first, but they slowly get caught up and they have one last chance to actually score a touchdown. And they pass it, they go for like a Hail Mary, which I forgot if it was Hail Mary, but a pass towards the end zone near the touchdown. And Manta, the wide receiver, he catches the ball, but there's this very talented player on the other team that tackles him right near the end zone, and the timer runs out. And everyone realizes that this was their last chance for Kurita and Hiruma to be able to play football. They are not making it to any more tournaments. They won't have another chance to play football. And Senna realizes this too. He's sad. He's very sad that he won't get to play football with Hiruma or Kurita again. Everyone on the team, they put in just as much work as Senna did. They're very disappointed. Well, not disappointed, but they're also very depressed. And they're just broken. Their spirits are broken. But Monta, he learned from his past mistake about the time running out. And what he did, so when he caught the ball, he made sure that when he went down, when he got tackled, so his feet landed inside the field. So that means the pass is complete. But when he got tackled, he placed the ball outside the field so that the timer would stop. And that just like brings a new fire onto the team, onto the Diamond Devil Bats team, and they go on to win the match. It's very amazing. Definitely one of my favorite games in Eyeshield 21. I forgot what team it was, but I know it had to do with like some monks, and I just remember that the very talented player who took Monta down, who tackled him, was a guy named Agon. But yeah, they go on to just keep playing more matches. And I guess I won't spoil you guys from there, but there truly are some very beautiful moments in Eyeshield 21. You get to see Diamond Devil Bats grow as a team, and each of the players grow as people. If you like sports manga, or you just want to be surprised, go check out Eyeshield 21. It has very beautiful moments, and you really get to see people dealing with loss and self-doubt. But yeah, that's all from me. So yeah, see you in the next one. Have a good one, and peace.